vivo in Milano o vivo a Milano? Oh yes, I know the feeling. Italian prepositions suck. Yes, I hate them. I hate them in all of the languages that I've seen them. And they're terrible. They're terrible to learn and they're terrible to teach. But hey, today I'm here to help you master preposition a and preposition in. Follow this video along and you will learn all of the different rules and you will never make a mistake again. If you need to, you can download the entire lesson in PDF format by simply clicking on the link that you find below this video. All right, take a piece of paper, take a pen and relax and let's learn these two terrible prepositions together. Okay, I am not a big fan of learning things by heart. I think it's silly and I think it's a waste of time. With prepositions, unfortunately, for some things you do have to sort of remember them. But I honestly still believe that even in this case, I don't suggest that you memorize them. Use them in sentences that you could say. So with preposition a and preposition in, there are lots of sentences that you can use in everyday conversation. So my suggestion here is to read and study the rules, but also take down the sentences that you see that could be used to describe yourself and use them to make a short paragraph about yourself using correctly preposition a and preposition in. Why do I say that you can use it to describe yourself? Because you will see that they're very much used to talk about where you live, where you work, locations, and so on. So I think that that's a great way to just get them correctly and remember them correctly and never make a mistake, okay? So here are the rules and then it's gonna be your turn to write some sentences, okay? And I want those sentences in the comments, okay? Here you go. Preposition a is used when you're talking about cities. So for example, I can say vado a Milano, vivo a Roma, sono nata a Palermo, studio a Napoli. Be careful because a will become ad, so with a little d added, when the name of the city begins with a letter A. This is because it's just too difficult to say the two A's one right after the other. So for example, if you have cities, places like, I don't know, Amburgo, you can say vivo ad Amburgo. It's not so strong. Now I stressed it out to make you listen to that D, but really it's vivo ad Amburgo. It's a soft D that sort of unites the two, the preposition and the city, so as not to have a repetition of vivo a Amburgo. That just sounds strange and it's not easy to say. Okay, so remember when the city begins with the letter A, your preposition will become ad, okay? Vivo ad Amburgo, abito ad Alessandria, okay? You will use preposition a before the names of small states or small cities, like little towns. For example, abito a Sorrento, vivo a San Marino. Think of small places and you can think of also small islands. In that case, a is the preposition that you will be using when you're talking about small islands. Vado a Capri, vado a Malta. Okay, those are two small islands and you will use preposition a. You will also use it when you're talking about direction, so when you're giving cardinal points. A sud, a nord, a est, a ovest. A is also used with some verbs that are followed by another action and that also have an infinitive verb. I do have a specific video on this. I will link it below. In this case, you need to remember these verbs. They're sort of, let's say, verb preposition collocations. So you have to learn them as they are. And there are verbs like iniziare a, cominciare a, aiutare a, riuscire a. Okay? Now, I want to give you a list of common phrases that use this preposition. So in this case, you can memorize them and put them in a sentence, and remember that these will always use preposition a. A scuola, a teatro, a piedi, a tavola, a letto, a lezione, a destra, a sinistra, a pranzo, a cena, a colazione. As you have seen, if you have tried to translate some of the sentences that you have seen so far, a can cause confusion because very often in English it's translated with preposition in. So I know that it's very terrible and I know that I'm giving you lots of information, but please hang in there. Give me a thumbs up if you like the video so far. And let's go to preposition in. You will use in when you're talking about the names of countries. Vivo in Italia. Abito in Francia. Studio in Inghilterra. Be careful when you have names of countries that are grammatically plural. For example, the United States, that's plural, or the Netherlands, okay? In those cases, in changes a little bit and it becomes nei or negli. For example, vivo negli Stati Uniti. Vivo nei Paesi Bassi. Abito negli Emirati Arabi. In is also used when you're talking about a region or a state. For example, vivo in Umbria. Vivo in Lombardia. Abito in Arizona. Abito in Texas. If you remember, a was used with small islands, in is used with big islands. Vivo in Sicilia. Abito in Corsica. In is also used when you're talking about an address, so like the names of streets or of squares. You could say something like lavoro a Milano in via Manzoni 6. You're using a with Milano because you have a city, so you need preposition a, and then you're saying the address, so you're using preposition in via Manzoni. A little fun fact, all of the shops whose name end with IA will also need to use the preposition in. For example, in farmacia, in gelateria, in panetteria, in macelleria. And now, just like I did with a, I will give you a list, an extra list of places in this case that will use in. In montagna, in chiesa, in spiaggia, in campagna, in bagno, in piscina, in ufficio, in palestra, in città, in centro, in edicola, in discoteca. Okay, so that was it for preposition a and preposition in. Download the PDF with all of this information. I will also give you a link to a specific book, grammar book, that I suggest if you want to practice and continue with the exercises of prepositions. If you need anything, just write a comment, and I'm very much looking forward to your sentences with preposition a and preposition in. See you next time. Un bacione. Ciao.